Hello, my name is Michael Kale, and this is my audience. I'm here to talk to you about prison ministry and chaplaincy. Chaplaincy within the prison system can be challenging, but a very rewarding opportunity for someone who has a desire to minister to people. The success of an inmate is predicated upon the ability to receive faith-based services. That means if we want rehabilitated, released inmates, we need faith-based services. That to me is a worthy vocation. According to Pew Research, 3/4 of the chaplains, 73%, say they consider access to religion-related programs in prison to be absolutely critical to successful rehabilitation of inmates. I have personally seen the spiritual transformation of hardened criminals in my 20 years of experience as a volunteer in the prison system. For the next couple of minutes, I want to express to you the great need and great fulfillment of being a chaplain in the prison system. Inmates in your prison need to receive proper spiritual care. This career, if chosen, is more than a job, but a ministry to the hurting. That is exactly what Jesus did when he was here on earth. Let's take a closer look at chaplaincy and prison work. My first point is, what does the Bible say about prison ministry? The Bible is very clear that we as Christians need to minister to those in prison. The heartbeat of Jesus was to reach out to the hurting. In Matthew chapter 25, 34 through 40, Jesus speaks about those in prison and that you need to minister to them. We all make mistakes, but God does forgive us. The first time Jesus spoke in public, he brought up prison ministry. Jesus said he has come to preach deliverance to the captives in Luke chapter 4. The final reference in Scripture that gives us biblical thought to prison ministry is found in Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 1 through 3. It says to remember those in prison as if you were with them. So clearly the Scripture shows us that we need to reach out to the hurting, those that are in prison. Not only is prison ministry biblical, but it needs more Christians to serve. Which takes me to my next point. Chaplaincy and volunteers are needed more than ever. In a survey of chaplains, it says that volunteer do a fair or poor job mentoring inmates. In the article, the chaplains that were surveyed said that volunteers did a great job doing the services, but did a fair to poor job in actually mentoring to them. More volunteers are needed in the prisons. There is a lot of opportunities where you can make a difference. For example, mentoring, one-on-one mentoring to an inmate, Bible studies and life skills, preaching and teaching, angel tree. That is a special ministry for ministering to children of prisoners. Re-entry team, a prayer team, and advocacy. More chaplains are needed, but the state government is cutting back. Chaplains are getting caught up in all these budget reductions and staff reductions. It's going on all over the country, according to Huffington Post. The chaplains are needed, but they are being cut back. So there's more volunteers that are needed to reach out to the hurting and to those that are in prison. In closing, as I pointed out, there is a biblical obligation to minister to those in prison. We have a few problems, though. Although there are chaplain positions available, they can see budget cuts. Which leads us to the second point I made. Volunteers are needed to fill in the gap of the released chaplains. This ministry is as important as feeding the poor. Going and visiting those in prison is also as important as seeing the sick in the hospital. And that is according to Matthew chapter 25, verse 34 through 40. Are you looking to make a difference in someone's life? Would you be willing to say yes to God and reach out to a brother and sister in prison? If you care for hurting people, the prison system may be a job for you.